Welcome to the Empowered Embodiment Revolution, where women leaders reveal how to liberate yourself from body battles so you can follow your heart, own your power, and shine in the world. I'm Darlene Downing, and I am your host for this event, and I am thrilled to be here with you today. I have with me the joyful and delightful Juna Guetter. Hi, Juna.
Hi. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, Juna and I have a lot of similar passions, two of them being our love of Nia and for access consciousness. And I deeply appreciate her commitment to empowering women so that they can experience joyful embodiment and how she's raising awareness on what's truly possible to create with our bodies through her work. And I'm excited to share her with you today. So her official bio here, Juna has been living on this planet for over 50 years and has explored taking her body to the outer reaches of pain and pleasure, the extremes of overeating and drinking, and testing the discipline of learning martial arts. The savoring of the utter stillness between the movements of a dance or the shaking of a bicep that has one more rep to go. After years of chasing extremes, using her body as a laboratory to try to figure out what's wrong with her and what's right about everybody else, trying to fit this world's picture and program of having a great body, she's discovering how to listen to her body, to ask her body questions, and to allow her body to simply be without impelling it with force and judgments. Since 2009, Juna has been working internationally as an Access Consciousness certified facilitator, and since 2013 as a 3-day body class facilitator. Juna invites people into greater joy, ease, and communion with their bodies and their lives. Having studied various techniques, including reflexology, NLP, landmark education, Nia, she's a black belt, watch out, and access consciousness, Juna empowers and educates people around the world in the art of conscious living and joyful embodiment. So welcome, Juna. I am delighted to finally get past our technological issues and have you here today.
Me too. How does it get better than that?
How does it get any better than that? Yeah. So you know what I would love to start our conversation out with? Been asking all of the speakers to really begin this place. How would you define empowered embodiment from your point of view?
Well, it really, that's a great question. And empowered is number one, it's really allowing you to be the potency that you already be, without all the layers of society and of what everybody else puts on you. We actually have a power and a potency from within. And I often talk about like a little seed, like an apple seed, an acorn. It's empowered, it's a potency that we have. Not power over, but a potency within that can, like you said at the beginning, like shine your light. Like, let's shine our light. And so many of us we've hidden the light. We're still empowered, but we forget. And we act like we're not in order to try to fit into this reality, which is kind of slow and kind of heavy and doesn't really support joyous, ebullient living. So that's the empowered part. And the embodied part is really enjoying your body. Embodiment is even more than the physical body. As I've been learning through all the different techniques and things, embodied is also having to do with this physical reality, what you can see and touch and taste and hear. It's really igniting all the senses. So that's embodied living. Which, if you were a spirit without a body, could you have all these pleasures? And that's the joy of embodiment. That's the greatness of embodiment, is to be able to have the sight, sound, touch, hearing. And if you're missing one of those senses, some people are missing those senses, there's other senses, and there's just the joy of being able to move energy and be in this reality as an experience, as a playground for adventure.
I love that. And I love that you bring in the joy of embodiment. There's this perception, I feel, with a lot of people that a body is a bother. We've got to dress it, we've got to feed it, it doesn't look the way we want it to, all of that. And to change the point of view that we actually can enjoy it and to give ourselves permission to do that. Oh. Something that I love about your work and just your whole way of being. You just exude joy, and I enjoy it immensely.
It's fun. I mean, we're here. Why not enjoy it? And people say, I can't be happy until I lose 20 pounds. I can't be happy until I can wear this dress that I bought. And I'm like, why not be happy now? And that's a choice that I would love to be able to, if I had a magic wand, I would give it to everyone to say, enjoy now. And not everybody has the tools, not everybody knows the choice. Some people actually like their misery and suffering. This call, in this conversation isn't for them. It's for the people that know they've had glimpses of joy. They know it's fun, and yet they kind of buy into, they get judging their bodies, and they get the heaviness with that. And it feels like there's no way out, or they have pain in their body. And I'm saying to people, it's like, okay, so maybe that's not working the way that you want it now. How can you have joy with what is working and what is flowing with your body? How much fun can you have with what is working, and be grateful for it?
Yeah, it's beautiful. And what would our world look like if it was filled with joyful bodies?
It would be a totally different reality, perhaps. And that's the topic. Are you ready for a different reality with your body? And will you create it? And it's really, what if it's up to each and every one of us to start with ourselves? Because like I said, if we had a magic wand, I'm sure we would do it, we would like bing, bing, bing to everyone. But it's really starting with ourselves. And saying, okay, what do I choose today? I choose happiness. I choose the joy of being. Now, what does that look like? I wonder what it will look like today. And, the joy of embodiment isn't always this, crazy, wild, happy. It's also a deep peace. And it's a deep knowing of the ease and just the simpleness of being, like being you, and the joy of that. And it doesn't have to look like anything that anybody else does. What is it for you? And I guess that's my invitation for everyone who's watching, listening, is what is, the joy of having a body? What is the joy of living for you? And maybe a question that I would ask is, what is something fun for you and your body that you haven't chosen yet? What could that be? What would be one fun thing that for you and your body that you haven't chosen yet? So I love asking questions.
That's a great question. And I love questions too. That's something that's really expanded my world through Access Consciousness, that the minute you think you have it figured out, you're into conclusion, and it stops the energy, it stops what other possibilities are available. So yeah, what fun could we have in our bodies that we haven't yet chosen?
Yeah, what's one thing I can choose today, right now, that I've never chosen that would actually be fun for me and my body?
Yeah. Yay!
Yay!
So we've had an opportunity to talk, and I know that being in joy with your body and enjoying your body hasn't always been your experience. So I wonder if you would be open to sharing your own body story and how you came to this place that you're at now with your body and your relationship with your body.
Sure, happy to do that. I guess growing up, I grew up in a kind of conservative Christian home where really sex and body and was separate from the mind and learning. So there was this big separation, and much of our culture is based in that, like the spirit is lofty and the flesh is bad, and like what you said, like the body is a burden, and if I could be free of the body, which has become a jail, I could do anything, but it's this body that kind of weighs me down. So I definitely kind of grew up in that paradigm, and I had a disconnect from my body. And in my later teen years and early 20s, I started noticing I had bruises on my body or cuts, and I had no clue of how that was, or I couldn't remember that. And I remember just getting a real strong awareness. I really need to get connected. I need to know what this body thing is, because I was really, everything was from the neck up, and I was taught to, learning was important and the spirit world was important, but the body was just kind of this thing, like you said, you feed it, you bathe it, you do things to it, and it was this thing, and I thought, there's got to be more than that. Mm-hmm. And so I started walking. I started lifting weights. I met a girlfriend, and we walked every day, and then she showed me how to lift weights. And then I realized I loved dancing. But in my childhood, my sister was a dancer, and I was a musician, and I bought the belief that my family put at me that I was the klutz. I was the family klutz. And I believed it, and kept believing that and thinking I couldn't do it. But secretly, I would dance in my living room and have a really good time. And then I didn't care how much I weighed, what I looked like. I was just dancing and enjoying the music. Then I heard about this thing called NIA, and I signed up for my white belt training. I haven't even taken a class, and I just thought, yes, I'm going, and I don't know what it is, but it's a great adventure. So that was the beginning of so much education and so much awareness about what it is to have a body and how all, emotion, spirit, mind connect. And it was really just this beautiful education of that. So kind of the challenge was the disconnect, and the way through it was, for me, was I was asking a question, how can I get connected? And then these things kind of opened up, where I said, okay, I can walk, I can do this NIA thing, and that opened that up. One more thing too is, even through the NIA, and even though I had like a dance career and I was teaching fitness like 20 hours a week, there was parts of me that felt numb. And I realized I was happiest on the dance floor, but in the rest of my life I couldn't really translate that energy. So what do I do with this numbness and this? There was still kind of a disconnect, even though I knew how that joy of embodiment was, but how could I bring that into more of the physical reality? How could I bring it into the bedroom? How can I bring it into my money? And how does that all work? And then I sort of found the tools of access consciousness, and with that it was, like you said, the question, and starting to ask my body, body, what would you like to do for movement today? Body, what would you like to eat? Rather than, I had read all the diet books, I had read, Eat Right for Your Blood Type, all that stuff, and I was still trying to get it right, even through the dance and the NIA and all of that. How can I get it more right, more right, more right? And the tools of access really said, you know what, you're already great the way you are, and there's more in there, and through asking questions like, what else is possible? How does it get better than this? It started to open doors for me. It's kind of a long answer, but
great answer, and thank you for sharing it. And I love that you brought to the conversation actually asking your body what it would like to eat, what it would like to wear, how it would like to move. It totally shifts how you're experiencing your body when you do that. That's that piece of connecting, and I practice that myself, and my body will tell me what clothes it wants to wear, and,
wise body.
Yes. And I remember being at a restaurant, it was probably a couple of years ago now, and I'm not going to mention any names. I want to keep the privacy of everybody, honor that. However, somebody I was having a meal with, she made a comment. She said, I'm going to ask my body what it wants to eat today. And she looked at me like I lost my mind. She's like, you're going to ask your body? Like, why would you do that? And then she said, so what did your body say? And I said, well, she told me that she wanted to eat this, and she kind of looked at me sideways, I do use that though, and it's awesome. It's an awesome tool. My body rewards me by maintaining a pretty even keel with my weight and really great health, by asking those questions. So.
Yeah, and yeah, I guess I had some, for people who don't have that lightness, who don't have that, please begin with asking your body, which is what we're talking about. And people will go and they'll say, oh, well, she has the joy of embodiment because she has it all together and the weight is all good. Well, what can these people do? And please, it does start with your body the way it is now. And judgment, and what I know about judgment, and if we judge our bodies and we go in, it's a downward spiral, and it locks us into no choice, because whatever our point of view is, like I'm unhealthy, I'm overweight, I'm in pain, it creates more of the same. But I know that a question can unlock it, right? So that whole judgment thing, that was another huge struggle in my world, is trying to get things right and always feeling underneath that I was wrong.
Let's talk about that a little bit more, about the judgment. And you're not alone. I mean, women are brilliant, I feel, at judging our bodies. It's a practice that we've been doing for a while. Yeah. So let's talk about that and what else is possible for us beyond judgment with our bodies.
For sure. And one of the tools that I got from Access Consciousness is really asking, is this mine? Does it belong to me? And I'm here to say, and I've used this tool, I've been in Access for 6 years, anything that's heavy and contractive isn't yours. What is light and expansive and creates more possibilities is what's true for you and your body. So judgment, if I tell you you're ugly, fat, lazy, and stupid, how does that make you feel? It's like, ew. And if I say you're an infinite being with infinite possibilities and infinite light, how does that make you feel? So yeah. So what we do is we latch on to, and it's a program, we've been programmed, and we keep choosing it to always go to the negative, and always go to that judgment space. So, but if you know that, if you're in the age group of whatever, or just a woman, you're judging your body, look around, you're a psychic sponge bobette picking up the thoughts, feelings, and emotions and judgments from everyone around you. So it's weird, because we think that because I feel it, I think it, I feel it in my body, it's mine. And I'm here to say that 99% of it is not yours. And you can just say, is this mine? And if it feels heavy, you can just, it's not yours, and you can return it to sender. You can return it to the earth. You can just dissipate all of that energy to the earth. The earth will take it. The earth is an amazing alchemist. You're not giving the earth your heavy, yucky judgment. You're just gifting it to the earth, and the earth will take it. And it has no point of view whether it's positive, negative energy. It will just receive that energy. And what you're saying when you say return it to sender with consciousness attached, you're releasing your duplicate copy, and you're saying, I'm not playing the judgment game anymore. I'm just not judging my body. And for me, I judged and judged. It was the broken record. I don't know if you know the broken record of, you get up in the morning, you look in the mirror like, okay, I'm like this, I'm this.
Yeah.
And I just go ahead.
It just gets old.
And one day I literally, it was about probably 2 years ago, I got bored. I just said, I'm bored with this story. Like, okay, what else is new? And if I keep picking up, the morphic field, the energetic field of everybody else who's going in the downward spiral, It's like, okay, great body, you're very psychic, thank you, and we can return it to sender, we can stop it. And I'm saying that you have the power, that's the empowered embodied living. You have the power to say no, no to judgment, and just return it to sender with consciousness attached, dissipate it to the earth, and then start choosing for you. Start choosing, oh, what would my body and I like to do today? What would be fun for us? What would I like to wear? If you don't like all your clothes, let them go to someone else. Get something that makes you feel really, really good, just little bit by little bit, and then you can change and shift that. Just say that no to the judgment, and only you can say that.
Yes, only you.
Yeah.
You know, can you share with us an experience? You know, I play with Who Does This Belong To? I have several personal experiences of where I picked up other people's body judgment. I picked up other people's pain in my body.
Yeah.
Is there a specific instance for people who this is new to? They're not familiar with Who Does This Belong To? Can you know, add and you could kind of walk them through it?
Sure. So who does this belong to? You ask that for everything that you think and feel. And I had an experience where I got off an airplane and I walked into a lounge with a bunch of people in it, sipping wine and whatever. And I walked in and I thought, I feel great. I feel amazing. There's no judgment. I'm not worried about what my hair looks like, if I have any, chives in my teeth or broccoli pieces. I'm just like, woohoo, this is amazing. So walking into that space and I was aware there's no judgment. Fast forward 2-3 weeks down the road, I went to a class. It was on bodies, believe it or not. I was gonna, do body processing, and I went there and I was waiting for the class, and all of a sudden I started to judge my hair. Is my hair okay? Is this okay? What? Oh no, maybe I smell. And then I realized, oh, and I thought I was judging myself, and I went back to that one time where I went in and there was no judgment, and I realized I actually don't judge, but I'm picking up the judgments of other people. And when I was aware in that moment, waiting to go into this body process class, I just, returned it to sender, all of that stuff, and I knew immediately it didn't belong to me. And I knew that all of the judgments, all of my whole life, and all of that heavy ickiness never belonged to me. So that was a real night and day difference where I had a physical sense of that. And that changed a lot.
Yeah, isn't it? I mean, when you have that awareness all that time that you thought it was your thoughts and it was your stuff, and it never was to begin with. And my awareness that you can't do anything with someone else's thoughts, you've got to just release it and let it go.
Exactly, and just say, and call yourself on it and say, stop. Whatever little word you have, like, stop it. And then what else can I choose? And how many women are bored with their lives? How many women are, especially, let's say if they raise their kids, or even if they have little kids at home, they're bored and they're frustrated. And so they go into what everyone else is going into, because women, and a lot of us are psychic, we're picking up everything, and so we pick up on it, and we're bored, so we go, we get OCD with everything, or we call it OCC, obsessive compulsive creators, and then we start doing obsessive compulsive creator of crap. We start going on about it, and we can't get off it. It becomes an obsession. So that's what I say to women. So many women come in and they go, well, yeah, I am bored. And I said, yeah, I can tell, because you're judging yourself and you're going into this downward spiral. So if you were being you, what would you choose? If you could create your life, what would you create?
Would you say that's how we get out of this spiral of being addicted to judgment, to shift our attention into what we, first of all, we send it away, it's not out, and then what do we create?
Send it away, and then it's like, what can I choose? So asking questions, and then choosing something that would actually be fun for you. And if you don't know, that's where you ask a question. I don't know. I've lived, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. I have no clue because I've always been doing everything that everybody else wants. What would be fun for me? And just keep being in the question, being in the question. And we say being in the question because there's a being about it that it's not asking questions for an answer, but for awareness. And when you can be in the question of what else is possible for me in my body, you start to get awarenesses, and then you might get a hunch, oh, yeah, I would like to go on a bicycle. I haven't been up on a bike for years, but my body wants to take me there. And then just go do it. It doesn't have to be the big 10K race. Just get on that bike and see where you go.
Yeah.
So
start with one step, right?
Yeah, and another question that I ask is, what can I add to my life today that would change my body and me right away? What one thing can I add to my life today that would change my life right away? And we often think that we have to take away things from our life, like I'm too busy, I'm overwhelmed, I'm on all these committees, I have to scale back. But when you actually add things to your life that make your heart laugh, you suddenly find you have more time, you have more energy, you have more of you. And when you're turned on, hey, the money starts to come, the work and the enjoyment of work and everything just starts to flourish.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Hey, so I would love to ask you if you would talk about you are what you eat and the belief that you are your body. What's that all about?
Well, isn't that such a belief in this world that you are what you eat? And so I was at a healing seminar a while back, a couple years ago, and I was at lunch with everybody, and they were all eating, very, their little salad leaf and everything. And I think I had a Coke, and I was, eating something that was probably not healthy because my body really was desiring it, and they were kind of looking at me with a sideways glance, and they were saying how, yeah, you are what you eat. And for that particular group of women, there was no receiving of, well, what if that's not exactly the way it works? And what if what about asking your body rather than consulting all the books and all of the things? So you are way more than what you put into your mouth. And all of our points of views about food, like that was another thing, just really destroy and uncreate all the points of views about food and eating and what's poison for your body and what's good for your body. What if, the only thing that I wasn't consulting was my body when it came to food? So it was a revelation. It was like a big light bulb aha moment. Oh, asking my body. I don't have to read another book again. I don't have, if it's fun for me, sure, information is great, but I don't have to go by someone else's viewpoints or theories, or, if my body says, oh, or if my body goes, oh, this type of eating, I might check it out, but really, I'm asking my body every moment, every day.
And that's so liberating, don't you think? I mean, I have thought about this a lot, how much time and energy is spent on consuming all of this information on what is right for your body and what's wrong for your body, and it's just crazy. I think I lost you, Juna. Yep. Did you come back? Oh, there's your picture. Yay, you're back. You disappeared for a minute. I'm like, oh,
I did.
That again, are we? Yeah, like just consuming all this information and going into a state of overwhelm and confusion over what we should be choosing, and how simple everything becomes when we embrace this idea that we can actually get the information from our bodies. It's very liberating, and it simplifies.
Yeah, and in terms of food, and how much are we a consumer society, and we're it's all about the food. And when you go to a meal, what if it's about the people? We we really don't require that much food. And the more and more that I do the work of consciousness, I say there's beings of energy and beings of matter. And for so many years we've been trained to be a being of matter, and that it matters what we eat. What if we're the being of energy, and we eat lightly? And how many of you who are listening, watching this call, when you're doing something you really love and you've got a lot of energy into that, you forget to eat. Your body doesn't actually require. If you ate a big meal in the middle of a creative project, you'd probably fall asleep, because so much energy goes to the digestion of that food. And just really, that's what's changed for me, is just eating way, way less food and more quality. And my body loves that.
Yeah.
Loves that.
Yeah, same for me. The consumption of my food has shifted quite a bit too, and not going into judgment about it, and also understanding the signals of my body, that my body likes to be space and expansive, and I can misidentify or misapply that I'm actually hungry when it's not what my body needs. It's almost like I need to solidify myself by food.
So yeah, and that's another question too. When you're hungry, ask, body, are you looking for food? Maybe you want to do some movement. Maybe you want a 10-minute rest, and just you can pull energy. And this is what I teach a lot of people, and is pulling energy from the earth, through people, through your body, to enliven you. So we're energy beings. Yes. We're not dense beings, so we're energetic, and when we go into that density, then we're holding on to something. We're solidifying and holding on, and trying to make ourselves heavy and real to fit into this reality.
Right. How does it get any better than that?
How does it? So yeah, ask a question, choose something. Choice creates awareness. So choosing, just choose. I want to eat this, or my body wants to move, and you'll start to get an awareness. Oh, my body actually wants to move rather than eat something.
Yeah. Right? Okay, so another question that I wanted to ask you is to make a distinction between your body and your being. Did you want to talk about that for a bit?
Sure. And did you have more of a question, or?
Yeah, bear with me here.
Sure.
Get my cheat sheet. Oh. No.
It's kind
of, the distinction between the body and the being, and I'll just share my own story with this. I thought I was my body until I had an awakening about 8 years ago, I guess it was now, 7, 8 years ago. I lose track of time now. And I realized I was not my body, that I'm something more than that. And then just recently, it might have been you that spoke about the being, that the being's not in the body, but the body's in the being. And I was like, oh yeah. So I wanted you to talk about that just a little bit.
Sure. And that was a huge revelation for me too. And so many people, they think they are their body, right? So, and you can just do this little exercise with me too. You can you can close your eyes and just find the outside edges of you. So it could be your physical body, and then just expand out and expand your awareness as big as the room that you're in, as big as the building that you're in. Go down into the earth and start to travel down into the earth, like 100 miles and above, into the sky, 100 miles, and to the right and left of your body in all directions. Just keep expanding 1,000 miles in all directions, and just notice. And you can just expand even further. And where are you? Okay, are you here, and are you there? And for most people, when they do that exercise, they're like, yeah, they're here, but they're also way beyond the body. Does that make sense? And that's the being. That's the being that we be, is way bigger, and that the body is actually in the being. And we've been trained and entrained to think that it's just the opposite, that our being is in our body, and that, and I've talked to a lot of women who come in with obesity and overweight, and they're so aware of their being. Their being is gigantic. And I asked them, I said, are you trying to stuff your infinite being into your little body?
Yeah.
And they say, yes.
Yeah.
So it's, and I also know that, like we talked about the separation of being and body, and this, Christianity and all different kinds of religions have that separation. And what I know is that there is a oneness to it. Okay, there is, and the more and more when we are beings of energy, our body and our being are in that, for lack of a better word, alignment.
Mm-hmm.
When you have that flow and that ease, rather than the resisting of having a body. And that's my whole question. What if your body is a gift? Your being said, okay, I'm coming into this reality, this physical reality, to experience the playground and the joy of physical. And that's the gift of the body. And it's a gift.
It is, and I'd love for you to talk more about that too, particularly if someone is in judgment, or they're in pain, they feel like they're at the effect of wrinkles or aging, or not liking how much weight they're carrying. Like how do you shift to that place that it's a gift?
Yeah, and it's not necessarily with the snap of your fingers or the magic pill. It is okay. Are we here?
Yeah, you're back again.
Okay.
You're such a potent being.
I'm just like, here I am, now I'm gone.
Your infiniteness.
Okay, so can you just remind me of the question? I'm sorry, I was just...
Oh, sure. I'm going to also freeze your screen so we don't keep popping over.
Okay.
How to be the gift, how to experience your body as a gift, even when things are going on that you're not thrilled about. And you were saying that it isn't where you just snap your fingers.
Yeah, and it is a choice. And but a lot of people just don't know that they have a choice, and they don't know that they're not their body. So this education piece that you're doing with this entire summit is fabulous, because it is the education piece that's missing for a lot of people. And so it's a choice to have the body be something other than what you think it is, or that it's a burden and that it's this heaviness and it's a trap. And really begin by asking a question: how does it get better than this? What else is possible? And to know, I'm here to hold a beacon of light, and so are you, that something else is possible. And another question is, what is like one thing that you can have gratitude and be grateful for your body today? So, and it could be the color of your eyes, it could be your belly button, it could be, your cute little toes, it could just be something. And please find that one thing, and just when you are grateful for that, and I'm going to ask everybody on the call, like right now, and myself, and just tune in to something that you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be your body right now, okay? So for someone who can't feel that in their body right now, just go somewhere else and just recall a time, bring up a time where you were very grateful. It could be a scene in nature or the beauty of a flower, or a cat in your lap, just something that you're very, very grateful for, and just bring in that energy and just be in that, and ask it to expand and just permeate every cell of your body and all the spaces between the cells of your body, and just keep expanding and expanding. So, great. How does that feel?
It feels amazing. I brought in the feeling of my granddaughter when she was first born, and so yummy, and just holding that energy in my awareness, it feels incredible.
So that is the you feeling. I call that's your green light. That's the you feeling. That's the yumminess of who you be. Okay? That's not necessarily the thing itself. It is an energy that you be, and it's an energy that we all be. And so how much judgment was in that moment, Darlene, and everyone else?
None.
None whatsoever. So if you're going to that icky place of judgment, I go to a place of gratitude, and sometimes it's a little challenging, but it's like I go and I transport myself, or I look at something and I ask a question too, universe, show me something beautiful today. Show me something beautiful. And then be in that gratitude, and gratitude is an energy. It is an energy of who we be. Same as joy, same as that easeful peacefulness that we be as a being, as an infinite being. So anyone can tune in and tap in at any time.
And I was just getting ready to ask you for an empowered embodiment tool, and there we have it. I think that you just presented it before I even asked the question. And it's so simple, and yet it really, over time, can make such a dramatic shift in how you're experiencing your body, don't you think?
Yeah, and it's not a mental exercise. It really isn't. It's really, like, and you can say barriers down, barriers down, barriers down. How much more gratitude can I receive? And you might experience it as tingles in your body. It might just, whatever it is for you. And then just keep expanding it. Everything that's yummy, ask, how can it get bigger? How can I have more of this? How can it be 24/7?
Oh, yeah. Bring it. Oh gosh, I love what you've been sharing. I love that tool, and I know that you also have been so generous to offer a free gift to everybody that is listening on this video summit, and there's a link below that you can go and really dive even more deeply into what Juna is all about, all of this joy and pleasure and yumminess that she's inviting us into experiencing. So I'm going to let you talk about your gift.
Okay, thank you. I'm really excited. What you get in the package is a talk that I did called Living with a Changing Body. And, it's how to deal with all, oh my gosh, I'm getting older, or something is changing in my body that I don't like. Or how could I actually talk to my body and ask it to change into something greater? So it's like living and thriving with a changing body. So it's a talk that I did in Toronto, and it's full of lots of tools. And then I also have an audio clearing loop. So there's the verbal processing that we do in Access Consciousness, so that brings up an energy of something that you would like to change, something that's not working with your body. You're judging so much, and then I say, will you destroy and uncreate it? And you say yes, or you can say no, or 10%. Will you destroy and uncreate it? And then it releases it. So through the clearing statement. So that's on a verbal audio loop that you can listen to, and you can listen to it while you're working, put it on a low volume. It's not really meant to be cognitively understood. It addresses all those layers of where we've stored beliefs and judgments about our bodies underneath. So the non-cognitive layer. So it gets at that. So play it. If you don't understand it, that means it's working. And then you can go to the written clearings. There's a little PDF of all the written clearings. So if you want to understand it or have it and read through it, you can have that as well.
Your brain is insisting on understanding it, right? Oh, gosh, that's so generous of you, and I appreciate it. We all appreciate that you have given of yourself in this way with this gift, and that you have given your wisdom and your life experience just to be a contribution in our lives, and be part of shifting this planet into a new evolution of empowered, joyful, pleasurable embodiment, right?
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
I so appreciate you, Juna. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here, and I'm thrilled to see. It's just been a delight to meet you, and I'm thrilled with what you're creating on this planet with the empowered, embodied living. It's amazing. So thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody who's listening. Please stay tuned. There's more interviews and more empowered embodiment tools to come. And until then, bye for now.
Bye.
Bye, Juna.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.